that seems to be a great way to start a live stream, right? Greetings and blessings, my dear friends. I welcome you with the open arms of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to be able to accept and receive the knowledge and the healing from the universe. Now, with that said, can y'all hear me? Pearl, Travis, can you hear me? I had so much difficulty. I sent out, you can? Okay. The other night I tried so hard to do a stream and, you couldn't hear me. The thing was jumpy. OMG. It was the pits. I mean, I spent hours trying to get the stream up. My dear friends, I'm here to update you. So feeling better is relative. It's relative. Right this minute at 2:03 in the morning time, I had this is day three. It's not quite all the way through day three, but anyway, because I got home so late on the first day, it wasn't even the whole day. But anyway, um, I had a visitor today from the Visiting Nurses Association type thing, the outreach from the hospitals. And not from my local hospital, but from Thomasville, which was interesting. And lo and behold, now, y'all know how I am about stuff. And so, guess what the lady's name is, not was, but is, who came to see me today? Any guesses? I'll cut it short. Her name is Angelica. The Spirit sent me an angel to help me clarify my condition, go over my medications, and tell me just how flippin' sick I have been. Kindly, mind you, but OMG, my friends, I've been walking around with a serious heart condition, not for a couple of months, but for years. Not 1 or 2 years, but back when I said that I go to the doctor and blah, 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 I had heart disease when I stopped going to the doctor. Now, she didn't know that I had heart disease, but was treating me for water around the heart and some stuff, and she was trying to be on top of it. But basically, I've had this for a while because of all my smoking habits, drug habits, bad living. And so there's some folks out there, like my daughter, and I'm going to be quite frank about her. And I don't really care if like somebody gets pissed off because I talk about her. I have disowned her over this because the other night I had called her on a cell phone to do a face to face, and I was in distress. Okay, and in fact, that same night at about 4:30 in the morning, they came into my room and said, "Hold still, Mister Null." And I'm like, "There's a doctor, there's four nurses, there's a machine, and you can look by their little eyeballs in that section right there that something's up." Now they won't tell me squat. Come to find out, I was AFibing really bad. And they had literally rushed up to the fifth floor from where they have the heart monitors and worked on me for almost until 6 o'clock that morning to get me stable again. Now, I say that in that the type of situation that I have, I don't feel anything. The doctor was like listening to my heart and he goes, "Yep, it's still there." And I'm like, "Where? It's right in here? Right, right. Yeah, yeah." And I mean, his face was like this close to mine. And he turns his head and he goes, "You've had a heart attack." And I was like, "Figured that." And he said, "But it's still going on." That was the other day. And I can still hear it. And I said, "Well, then how come I can't hear it? How come I can't feel it?" what the hell is going on with this thing? And it has to do with the typhoid I have now. So this has been going on for quite a while, like quite a while, quite a while for me. And I've just been trying to be a cantankerous old man, which I have been way past cantankerous on this. But so I got pneumonia. I got coughing really bad. It broke something loose that hit the heart valve that triggered this, but that triggered these events currently. But as far as my heart health and how I've actually been, it's been like the pits. So Miss Angelica was here today. God bless her. I swore. Um, very nice lady, and her name's Angelica. Hey, Katniss. Let me go down the list and say hi to everybody. Jules, Miss Deborah, Pearl, as always. I don't see anybody else at the moment. Let me scroll back up here. Oh, Travis Sabick, I don't know if you're still there, but howdy, everybody. Susie Q, you just cut off the pressure canner. Hey, Travis, how are you? So, when she was here earlier, they got a little device that checks your oxygen level and they check your pulse and blah, 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 blood BP and all that. So she took my BP and she was like, tapping the machine. This thing must be wrong. I'm like, what's the matter? She goes, your blood pressure is 104 over 80. And I looked at her and I went, what? She goes, oh my God, it's low. Let me check your other arm. 103 over 80. Blah, blah, blah. Let me check this other one. How do you feel, Mr. No? And I said, let me tell you, let me ask you this, Miss Angelica. I said, what are the symptoms of low blood pressure? And she was like this and that and dizziness and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, then that's how I feel right now. Everything that I was feeling, especially at the moment, was not caused by the medications, not necessarily caused by my heart, but because of low blood pressure. So it's what, 2 something in the morning, right? And I'm having those same kind of feelings. Now there ain't nobody to talk to, so I'm blaming y'all. You're my support group, right? I was like, man, there's nobody to call because I feel odd, but the feeling is what I had this afternoon. And me and Doug are here at the house. Doug got home yesterday. Thank you, Jesus. Um, and so I'm here this morning to give an update also, but also because I'm feeling wonky and sitting here by myself in the middle of the night with these feelings. It's hard to sit here in the middle of the night with these feelings because of the last week's events. They scared the shit out of me, folks. But let me get my piece of paper, okay? Because I want to just read off some of the, here's the list of stuff that's wrong with me, okay? Now, I'm saying this about my daughter because the other day, last week, I was like begging her, please, I know you're down around Panama City, and I know you got to get up here, and you're living with this guy, blah, 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 blah. And we're doing a face to face. And I said, I could really use a family member. I could use anybody at that point because, and I didn't know everything that had happened. I was just like, if there's ever a time you could squeeze it out your tiny little butt, that actually it's a big butt now, that you could get up here to come see me, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh yeah, Papa, we love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now get this. She hangs up the phone, and I've talked to one of my other grandchildren, and I go to sleep, or at least try. The next day, habit issues, don't feel well, blah, blah, blah. I talked with my granddaughter. Come to find out, they were going to come up here, but my daughter assessed the situation and decided to go flipping fishing instead. And they went up in North Florida that if they'd have drove an hour more, they'd have been here. Now, I haven't asked much, if anything, of my daughter. But when I found out that she had made the decision that my situation was just not tenable, don't worry about it, blah, 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 and decided to go fishing instead, I said, that's it. Because I've realized that my daughter has been lying to me for years. She don't really want to come up, oh, Pops, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And I sent her a text and I said, you have just been disowned. I have absolutely caught you in a lie. She lied bold faced to my face over the cell phone. I love you, Pops. If I could get up there, my granddaughter and her mate were planning to come up that weekend. And they were going to come with Mama and surprise me. To be here, guess what? In my hours of need, that fishing is more important. The demise of my daughter is complete. I don't want her down here. I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear from her. And she's been telling people my pops is going crazy because he's taking these medicines and he said he's disowned me. It ain't got nothing to do with the meds. It has to do that I was floating out into outer space with my grandma and the angels and Brian. And when I got back, I was like, whoa. Talk about a differently clear head. So to that point, though, there are some folks out there who claim, oh, it wasn't anything. It was just a minor, Now, I've had people over the years tell me, well, you're faking this, you're faking that because you want attention. Let me tell you, my friends, there's a lot of ways I can get attention without trying to mimic or create a heart attack situation. You know what I mean? So listen to this. From the Colquitt Regional Medical Center, cardiology progress note and blah, blah. Acute renal failure. Acute. Wow, I feel really sexy. Acute kidney failure. Atrial fibrillation with RVR status. Acute. Oh, I'm so sexy, ain't I? Acute on chronic heart failure with reduced something fraction. Again, acute. Acute chronic systolic congestive heart failure, cardiomyopathy, status, acute. I'm so sexy. Cardiomyopathy, unspecified coronary artery disease, acute. Arteriosclerosis, heart disease of native coronary artery without blah, blah, blah. Abnormal myocardial perfusion, status, acute. I ain't done. Right. So already going down this, the first short list of this, for those folks, I ain't blaming y'all. I'm just saying that these folks who, and I found out why they think this way. Okay. But number 7, normal result of other cardiovascular functions, benign essential hypertension, status, acute. I'm so pretty. Essential hypertension, tobacco abuse, acute, because I've been smoking since I was 13. I have smoked like 1.5 cigarettes today, very slowly, and it was tough. Secure disorder, seizures disorder, acute. Pre-diabetes, they got this one wrong, but it threw my sugar out of whack. They thought I was going into a sugar coma thing. Elevated white blood cell count, COPD exacerbation, status, acute. So this idea that And it weren't nothing to them folks who might think they know what the F they talking about. It wasn't just nothing. And I'm not trying to make more of it than it was. It's bad enough. But I wanted folks to know, sort of as a public record, that it was actually worse than we thought. Okay, Barry, been worried about you, some. But so anyway, tonight, because of today's visit with Miss Angelica, and because of the way I currently feel, I think I'm having a low blood pressure moment because I took all my meds, and after taking them, I was feeling a little woozy, but okay. I took my meds and it just knocked me out because I was going to do this earlier just to do an update. But now that I woke up several hours later, I'm like, I don't feel bad, but I feel really, really odd. And my heart, chest, everything over here, I've got water on around the heart, myopathy, blah, blah, blah. So when she started explaining things as to why I feel the way I do, and I feel the way I do, and I'll be walking in Memphis. I'll be walking with both feet on the ground, and I'll be walking in Memphis. Do you really feel the way I feel? Anyway, little musical interlude there. Oh, the music interludes that have been going through my brain these last few days. Holy crap. But anyway, so when you wake up feeling the way I do after the what I've just gone through, I was scared, not terrified, but I'm like, damn, I can't make this feeling go away. I've taken my meds, and but Miss Angelica told me, now I got to get a BP thing, and I got to get one of those air, how much, what's your pulse thing, so I can monitor myself here. But basically, from the hospital point of view, they just tossed me to the wind. They said, well, this is good. We got you stable. Well, this is good. We got you stable. This is good. We got you stable. Get out. And they started loading stuff on the cart, and out I went to the parking lot. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not, which is the really horrible part of this. So I found out the guy that's, quote, in charge is not even a doctor. He's not licensed to practice medicine. He works for a company that is that has doctors on staff as administrators. So he's qualified to read the papers. He's qualified to tell you what these medicines do, but he ain't qualified to work on you. But he's in charge of the hospital as an independent contractor. Now, I worked at Prestolite for years, and I was an independent contractor. But I was an engineer. I wasn't trying to save people's lives, blah, blah, blah. And I kept telling this jerkhead that, that Barry, I almost attacked him with the straw on that last day. I was like, wait a minute. You can't just send me home to the swamp without knowing more, without having some backup. I'm going home. My dog ain't even there. You're sending me home alone after having heart attacks and this list of stuff. Sorry, bye, and walked out the door. And the next thing I know, my stuff and me are going. By that time, I wanted out, despite if I died when I got home, I was so pissed. And I stayed pissed for 2 days. I calmed down today. Thank you, Miss Angelica, for explaining things to me. And that's why nobody at the hospital seemed to like this guy, right? Because he's walking around, blah, 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 telling people what to do when he ain't actually really a freaking doctor. He can't actually practice medicine. I could see, and his attitude just sucked. But hang on. If you think this is bad, it ain't. Because the other day, I could not stop coughing. I mean, honestly, could not stop coughing. I couldn't breathe. I was trying to gulp in air, and it just wasn't there. Now, I may have to just run off screen in a minute because between peeing and doing a number two, my bowels are all messed up for some dadgum reason. And when I feel that I might have to pee, if I when I stand up, I'm already peeing. I've peed on myself so many times in the last 3 days. I will trying to, and it's just a couple feet to the bathroom there. So I'm having other issues other than my heart just feeling wonky this morning. Hey, Witch Moon, how are you? Deborah. Anyway, so this idea, though, that I've been walking around for the last, I'm just going to leave 7 years in there because that was the last time I saw a doctor. I've been having congestive heart failure and this condition for at least the last 7 years, which for me is like, yeah, dummy. So, with that said, I've learned that you can be cantankerous or whatever, but sometimes that just that just makes you dead, and you wake up with a dirt nap. Now I got to run. Literally, I'll be back. I'm going in there, but whoops! No, on it. There goes the pee again. Hang on, I'm not coming back. What up? What's up, dude? Want to say hi to everybody? My stuff is full too. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. Anyway, so for the heart condition, there are folks that, oh, you'll be back to normal in no time. That's false. And I don't mean to be downgrading, but no, the damage is done. Okay. And, through the heart echo and what they saw, if I were to regain any of that from the heart, it would be minimal at best. Um, well, okay. But the 20% that I've lost from my heart out of the 60% that the atrium wants to pump. So where it normally pumps like this and everything's hunky dory and it's boom, boom, doom, doing the thing, now it's lost 20% of that function. So guess what? The blood can't get through my system. And if my blood pressure is up and my system's a little clogged, that's pushing what there is pushing hard to get the blood out of the heart and into the system. And so if it can't get it out right, it starts over pumping, which creates air bubbles, which creates blood clots, and guess what? Strokes and possibly death. A dirt nap. Okay. So this idea you're going to get better. Nah, I ain't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to learn how to use the 40% that's left to my advantage. Okay. But this idea of, oh, we're going to pray for it and you're going to get better. Okay. But this idea that I'm just somehow, and it would be magic and very grateful, don't get me wrong. But at being 70 and because of the damage and the age of my heart, are there miracles? Absolutely. I've had them, I've seen them, I've felt them. But this is one that I'm not going to sit around and I'm going to be better than no, because I have to be a realist about what has really transpired with me and my heart. And that is, I mucked it up really good over my lifetime. And it has gotten to a point where it was mucked up really good. And so I need to just today I'm still trying to find where my feet are in this. But it's obvious I'm going to have to be taking medicines for a while until I die, which hopefully is a while. And I'm going to have to continue to see a cardiologist. I don't have issues with that. And I'm going to have to, Lord Jesus, help me with this one. I'm going to have to restrict my activities. And now, so I'm asking Miss Angelica today, I say, okay, I want a kayak. I want to get back on the water. And she goes, okay, so how far you go? Now, she's from around here. She knows what a Ochlockonee River is and stuff. And she goes, so what did you used to do? And I said, well, me and the dog used to go down and blah, 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 and spend several hours on the river. And she goes, well, you might not want to spend several hours on the river. And I said, yeah, but I don't over paddle. I pace myself. And she said, yes, but the heart don't know that. So the heart's going to keep up as much as it can. But because you've lost that 20%, you're going to be so tired, you're not going to know what to do. And I went, oh. So when I get done paddling, I feel great. I mean, when I'm paddling, I feel great. I'm pacing myself. Everything's groovy. Otherwise, I'd be on the water. Of course, I didn't know I had heart condition, but so, and she said, so how have you felt the day after? And I started thinking back and I go, well, about every time me and Duggar went to the river, it was all I could do to pick my head up. I was so tired the next day or within so many hours. She said, that's it. No matter how you pace yourself, it's gonna come back on you. So you can feel good and pace yourself during the day, but as you get home and go to take the kayaks out, and you're just, and I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what's been happening to me. Feel great on the water, paddling, being happy go lucky, blah, blah, blah. You've seen some of the videos. But when I get out and we dock and I stand up and we're putting things back in the truck, it's like there was one time I just literally just sank to the ground. I mean, I was on the ground just going, damn, why am I so tired? I paddled, but it was a good paddle, and we're back, and holy crap! Oh my God! So I realized exactly what she'd been talking about. So instead of feeling like a, hey Diane, how are you? Great big hugs to all you. Thank you all for your prayers. I mean it. And I'm not trying to be like these people blah blah. No, listen. My paradigm has changed. OMG. And I still don't know where my feet are going to settle on how I'm going to deal with it. Meaning, um, we were discussing certain things. Like as I walked her out to the car, she goes, if you walk around your little thing here and in the yard, and say you're outside for 10 minutes, she goes, it's going to take you 20 minutes of recovery for that 10-minute walk. And I had already been experienced this, right? It's not new. It was like I'm as she's telling me these things, I'm reflecting back to recent events and going, oh my God. Oh, this has been going on for a long time. Holy crap. So I've literally been flirting with death. Not a good thing, right? Cantankerous old Dave, I'll take no medicines and everything. I almost freaking killed myself. You hear me? Now, at the same time, y'all know that I've been like, I feel something's wrong. I need to go to the doctor. I'll be 70 soon. And I was using the idea of being 70 as that I just need a checkup. The reason I need a checkup because I got heart failure. And that, I have been seriously really close to having a heart attack on the river or down in my backyard because I did not know the fatigue effect of my heart, which affects your breathing and this and that and the other thing. Okay. So, and I'm not doing this to bitch. This is my new reality. So I could have sloughed it off before, and I did. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Blah blah blah. Oh, if I'd have known how close I was to taking a dirt nap several times, and I'm not trying to stretch it. I'm like trying to back it up because people didn't see me that one night. Me and Duggar came off the river, and they didn't see me like laying on the boat ramp trying to catch my breath and to stand up, let alone get stuff in the truck. And so that scared the crap out of me, learning that my previous feelings and it's milky white. I don't know if there's anything in me or not, but anyway. So all in all, now this morning, as I have discussed earlier, I feel like my blood pressure is too low because it was low earlier today, and this is how I was feeling earlier today. And there's a part of me down in here that's just jumping up and down and trying to be really ill. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, my pacing of my voice and tone and everything, I'm trying to calm this mess down. Now, I don't want y'all to be scared or overly whatever, but it's hard not to be scared when a friend of yours has just found out, they've got long term heart problems. But I continue to tell my neighbors and relatives, and to you all, my dear friends, I'm going to work it out somehow. I don't know how, but I'm going to work it out. so I can get my stamina up so that I can use the 40% of my heart. But this idea that I'm suddenly or somehow I'm going to magically gain that 20% back. Now I trust the universe, but they're also telling me, look, dude, you have gone on long enough. We have been trying to warn your dumb, stupid, silly ass, and you wouldn't pay no attention. Now deal with it. Oh, because stuff like this has consequences. Oh, and my spirit guides have been really clear on certain things here recently. I mean, like to the point of dirt nap. Um, when you take a dirt nap, that's it. You don't come back. You don't get a second chance. You don't get to say, hang on, let me try this one more time. That doesn't work. Again, I realize there are miracles and so forth in the universe, but I've kind of been given my marching orders on so many levels. This is what it is, and Dave's going to have to learn how to live with this because I've ignored it, right? So, but anyway, here we are, 38 minutes and 23 seconds into this. I still feel a little wooky. I've got 12 different medicines to take now. I've got two different types of inhaler type things that when I get done here, I'm going to do a breathing treatment. Um, because, boy, do they make me feel weird. But, you know, but I wanted to get on and spend a little time because, quite frankly, I was lonely for y'all. And like I say, I feel a little wonky this morning, and there's nobody to talk to or calm me down. And do I know exactly this, my low blood pressure? No. So with that, there's a little bit of, I'm scared of this. Can't go there because, you know, by yourself, home alone, blah, blah, blah. 30 minutes for an ambulance to get there if they're available, blah, 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 blah. So it's happening to me. It must be my low blood sugar. Like, I'm sorry, low. Um, I'm going to have to learn what these feelings are. If this is my low blood sugar, not sugar. I keep wanting to do that. My blood sugar was fine when it had gone wonky wacko. They sure enough thought I was diabetic, and I was like, nah. But it was showing up that. Hey, Millie Cow, what? Hang on. About to drive, so I can't talk, but I'm here listening. Thank you, Millie Cow. Um, at the moment, I'm over the worst. I mean, you know, what is the worst? Well, the last few days with, let's see, nah, never mind. I still got the round circles on my skin down here, and where they poked me. You know, the color on my hand is still beat up. You know, holes in my arm. There's still, you know, blood stuff, and this arm here where they had the IV thingy, you know, is still red, puffed up, and sore. So, but as far as my heart goes, it is stable. And as far as my condition goes, they're telling me it's stable, and I'm trying to believe them. But at the same time, I don't know if I've ever had low blood pressure to make me feel this way. So I'm trying to blame it on the medicines, which is true. The medicines I'm taking are, you know, blood thinners and to, you know, water retention. And oh my God, the water I have gotten rid of. But they poured a bunch of water in me because they thought I was dehydrated. So all in all, that was weird. So my body's trying to accept the new drugs, the new formula, the new paradigm, and my brain is trying to understand the new paradigm, which is attached to all of the above. So thank you for being here this morning, because I was sitting here and the medicines are making me twitch a little bit. And I was like, son of a bitch, down here by myself, and the dog won't talk to me, and don't want to watch a movie, and I'm looking out the window, but so here I am chatting with y'all. So I have been getting on to my family members and friends who are overweight, who are begging for a heart attack. Oh, my blood pressure's okay. But you're 125 pounds overweight. You're pushing 325. And you're trying to tell me, oh, I'm going to be okay. No, bitch. Certain people, even my brother, I kind of said this to, a little more polite to my brother. But you know you're overweight, right? Yes or no? Simple answer. Yes or no. Don't talk about blood pressure. Are you overweight? Yes or no? Yes. Is it more than 50 pounds? Yes. Is it more than 75 pounds? I don't want to tell you. Okay. So when I look at you and I see you and I look at your frame and you got a big old gut and you're 6'2" and you're standing out like this, you're overweight. And you're trying to tell me it don't matter because your blood pressure is okay and you're like 5 years younger than me? You don't think this shit ain't going to hit you? So quiet, you ain't going to hear it coming. Because that's what the one thing about this condition that has terrified me. Okay. The doctor, I said this earlier, but I'm going to go back over it. He was listening to my heart with a stethoscope, real time, right? And he literally, his face is like this close to mine, and he cocks one eye and he goes, it's still there. And I'm like, what is? The fib. Yeah. But we got it under control with meds. And I'm like, but doc, I don't feel nothing. And he goes, you wouldn't. And I'm like, whoa, 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 back this bus up. You're saying that you can hear my heart right at the moment that he was listening. You can hear my heart right now going out of rhythm. Yep. I can't feel it. I can't tell. There's no symptom to it. And he's listening and looking, man. And that's when he said, and meaning the night before. And he said, and you've had a heart attack. So, how do I know if I'm in any kind of duress? How do I know if I have pushed myself too much? How? Because there are no warning signs like, oh, my chest hurts, or, my arm went numb. There ain't none of that that goes with this. That's why they call it the silent killer. So I'm still like, what? So the only way to check is to monitor. So right now, my blood pressure is low because it was low earlier today. The feeling's relatively the same. Michelle, how are you, my dear? So many prayers to you, Michelle. Of course, you already know. And I've gotten many prayers from y'all. So anyway, if you want to find out like what's really wrong, then ask the person that is going through it. Now I know you all ain't been doing that because I've been trying to send messages to Teresa and Michelle and to Barry, and I've been trying to keep folks apprised of the truth. But some of my family members and so forth, not all of them, just a couple, have been trying to add there was nothing. He's trying to make he's trying to make it bigger than it really was. I was dangling with death has been my new little thing. Dangling with death and fixing to take a dirt nap. If I had not come out of this, so okay, bitch, then what? What are you gonna say about that? Oh my God, he really was sick. Too late. you know, too late. Too late. Well, I wish I'd come seen you sooner. Too late. You're just in time to throw a shovelful of dirt on me for my long dirt nap. But if you thought, I'll go see next month, next year, or something, uh, these folks could very well be too late. And I've been trying to warn some of my family members there's something wrong with me. Come see me because there are things I'd like to give you for a pass if I pass. And then come to find out after all of it how sick I have actually been. So my body, the spirits have been warning me. They have been screaming at me to pay attention. I do have a doctor's appointment, but it's still in another month. So if I hadn't gone to the hospital and I had waited until August the 22nd to see my new doctor because the system's screwed. But anyway, um, it had been way too late. Well, just go to a primary. I don't have a primary physician. Well, pick one. We'll sign you up. Okay. Well, when can you go to the doctor? In 2 months. Well, now it's a little over a month, or maybe it's less. But anyway, to the point though. So I was trying. Y'all have heard me talk about I need to go to the doctor, blah, 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 get some blood tests and this or that, not having any idea of just how bad my condition already was. So, talk about scary events. Talk about going through my own brain stuff and everything and going, I mean, I keep calling myself, you idiot. Well, we blah, 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 you idiot. Blah, 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 you idiot. You dummy. You weren't. I should have so much listened. So bad. Long time earlier. So, if y'all are having any kind of premonitions or what about the money? Listen, when I was hanging out there with my granny and Brian and the angels, it was just nothing but white. There wasn't any sound. It was just white. It wasn't bright. It wasn't dim. It was just white everywhere. And look over here, it was just white. Look at my granny and things around. Just look at the angels. Just everything was just white. So, in those moments of out yonder, I was like, I had this sudden realization that nothing in this life that I came back to, none of it is worth worrying about it. I mean, none of it. This or that or that or this, none of it is worth worrying about it. And I told my good buddy today, I said, I don't mean to be rude about this, but he goes, well, what do you think about the property and everything and having your kinfolk signed on it and everything? I said, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't give a shit. He was shocked me because for the last couple of years is all I could talk about. And he went, what? And I said, I don't give a shit. And I said, they ain't come to see me. They ain't done none of this. And I said, in the long run, when I'm gone, it ain't going to matter to me. I'm trying to be kind before I go. And if they don't want to be kind with me, I'm not worried about this no more. Well, what about your grandchildren? Look, if they want to come down and prove themselves that I should leave them something to begin with, or that they even care, I'm sorry. When I'm gone, it ain't going to freaking matter. And I'm not going to worry about it no more. Period. You know? So, there's been a lot of like eye opening, oh my God, moments during all of this. And not trying to be rude to folks, but if you're worrying about this or that or blah, 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 oh, stop it. Literally. Oh, monkeypox, stop it. Oh, the economy, stop it. Are you breathing? Yes or no? Well, yeah, I'm breathing. Can you walk on your own? Well, yeah, pretty much, or I can get around. Are you coherent? Yeah. Can you put food in your mouth and digest it? Pretty much. Then you should be happy as hell. I'm I'm sorry. You should take those simple things and be happier than owl shit. Oh, but my bills and all my this, and what about the economy, and oh, the monkeypox, and all the. Would you shut up? Because after dangling with death, literally, none of that matters when you come out of it. Not one iota. I'm sitting here reading through the news and stuff today, trying to catch up a little bit, and I'm going, don't care, don't care. Oh, that's interesting. I really don't care. And and I'm thinking, look at how the millions of people who are worried about what these, and I'm like, a week ago, I'd have been with everybody else. Now, don't care. And I don't mean that I don't think it's important. I mean, in the long run of things, I don't care. I'm still going to be checking the news and all. But as far as how it's going to affect me and whether I'm going to die from it, listen, I almost died from my own heart disease. What do I care what Russia's doing? No offense to the Russians or the Ukrainians. Joe Biden, do I care what that silly old is doing? No. Now I'm just laughing at stuff. I'm just laughing at stuff. As they were pushing me out of the hospital the other day, Smokey and the Bandit, the movie was on. And I even texted a couple of people. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We gonna do what they say can't be done. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Watch old Bandit run. So listen to Jerry Reed and watching as I'm putting my stuff and trying to take a shower and get some goop out of my hair is still matted. You see all this right there? It's matted because of that junk they stuck in my hair. And here's some stuff that'll get it out. And all it did was tangle it up. And I'm almost to the point of cutting it off, but I seriously want to try to undo it. I've been doing a little bit at a time, but I'm tired. I mean, I'm literally, if I'm holding up my arms for a couple of minutes, it's just like I've been doing it for hours. So the fatigue and the tiredness of this, I, I'm just going to have to get used to it. And it doesn't mean that I can't learn to live with it, but this idea that I can I can exercise and get better is a lie. I can exercise enough to maintain and stay healthy, but I done the damage. Hey David, how are you? Thank you. So anyway, not trying to be grumpy about this, but boy howdy, have I learned some lessons. And have I learned a lot about the heart? And have I learned a lot about how it makes you feel? And but the biggest thing of this heart thing and my condition, because there are different types, is how tired it makes you feel. And going over that, I was like, oh man, for every time I've been to the river, for every time, I mean, I've told some of y'all, I went to the river in Dempster, almost didn't make it back. And I just thought it was the heat. No, it's because it's because I got a heart attack. I mean, heat helps and all that. You still need the Ativan to calm you. We discussed that today, by the way, and not necessarily. I told her, I said that half a milligram that I had that night and the next day absolutely calmed me down. It's on my list of meds, but they refused to give it to me when I left the hospital. Now, this guy was being a dickhead. I mean, they know other way to say it. He was a dickhead. Um, and a nasty dickhead, okay? Wait, a nasty, tall, arrogant MF dickhead. I mean, wait, is that enough? You get my point? So, but the Ativan, I have to go see the neurologist, Dr. Posey, and everything I've heard about this gentleman has been thumbs up. Even the lady today, Miss Angelica. Oh, we love Dr. Posey. And I was like, we do? And she goes, oh, us nurses, we love Dr. Posey. So I got an appointment, I don't know, 10 days or whatever it is. It's already set. So yes, I will be there with bells on, ding-a-ling, and we gonna have conversations because I've not met him. And we gonna have some discussions, you know. Now, as far as my seizures, she told me today. She goes, "You have narcolepsy?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, you know that's not actually a seizure." And I went, "What?" She said, and she was looking for the word, and I said, "It's like what happens after a grand mal seizure." And I said, "Postictal?" And she went, "Oh, so you know about this?" Well, yeah, duh. So apparently, the reason that some of my seizure activity has not been showing up as a seizure is that it's like I've already had a seizure and I'm postictal, which is after the fact, slurring my speech and not being able to sit up, and so. But the Ativan thing, right now I feel a little jittery because my blood pressure is low, and because I've had all my medicines this evening. Well, it was, let's see, it's 2 o'clock. Well, 3 o'clock your time, 2 o'clock my house time. Let's see, it was about 9 o'clock my time. Uh, 5 hours ago, and which everything is to make me pee, poop, eject, get rid of water, and to keep my blood pressure down. So if my blood pressure was already down, and it was 104 over 80, which the nurse was like, "Oh my God, how do you feel, Mr. Null?" And I'm like, I'm okay. Well, don't go running around the block, please. Okay, I don't feel like it anyway, right? So, but anyway, so my similar feelings at the moment are that my blood pressure is still low, which I guess is a good thing versus high and my heart over pumping and stuff like that. So, do I have more lessons to learn from this about the heart itself and how I'm supposed to get? I want to use the proper wording. And I was going to say, to get better. Well, that's a little iffy as far as, quote, the better goes. But I absolutely need to learn how to deal with it, how to adjust my lifestyle to this. No more running off to the river, me and Duggar, just for the hell of it. I don't care what time of the day or night or year it is. I can't do that no more. Simply because just walking, as she was explaining today, that just walking with my condition. Now, if my blood pressure is low and stuff, I could probably go to the river and back, but I'm going to suffer for it the next day. I am going to be tired. And now it'll be up to me as to listen, I want to go to the river. Yeah, well, what you doing tomorrow? Well, I don't know. What the hell's tomorrow got to do with it? Because you're going to go to the river now and have a good time with the dog, but tomorrow you're going to be tired as. And oh, yeah, okay. Hmm. So where I really wasn't thinking about getting me any kind of transportation to get me around down on the river, now I have to seriously think about some a little scooter. I mean, something because I don't want to quit going to the river, but I don't want to quit doing things. But if it's going to overexert me simply because of my current condition, I'm gonna have to work around that one. I ain't got a clue, y'all. But that's one of them things I'm gonna have to work around. So I'm gonna start with walking up the driveway and checking the mail and dumping garbage, and which is enough in and of itself, and then just see. So I absolutely intend to do my best in this, y'all. But as far as this, I'm magically just going to get better, and I'm magically going to, my heart's going to go back to pumping 60% again. Uh, I will accept it if the good Lord says, but I'm not expecting it. You know what I mean? I'm expecting to learn how to live with this however I need to. So It's going to be an interesting ride. Thank you all for being here this morning. I have missed you all. And I got me a little treat. And I've been wanting to do a 20 with y'all for a while and with myself. And so I told the nurse today, it says in the report that I tested positive for weed. Um, and I have told everybody that, in my younger days when I was going to bars, I could see older people, men and women, sitting at the bar nursing a drink. And they wanted to drink, but they did. Back then, I was a gulper. Oh, look, there's my drink, oh, chase it down. Hey, let's have another one. Cheers, And the old folks are sitting around and they're sippers. So with this and my cigarettes, I have been sipping very cautiously. Mm, that'll make you dizzy right there. And you might say, well, Dave, that's because you've been smoking today. Well, I smoked 2 cigarettes through the whole day and like smoke that much, put it out. Smoke that much, put it out. Try to take a drag, cough, quit. Now, I haven't had anything to smoke in quite a few hours. And here I am coughing. But my house, I had no idea because I live down here in the South. I got no air conditioning or whatever. So, and that's going to change. I got friends that are going, no, we're going to put an AC in your house downstairs because there's too much humidity. I woke up the other morning when I first, like day 2, and I couldn't breathe. And it was because of the denseness of the humidity here in the South. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I'm like having difficulty. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is just South Georgia weather. But because of my condition and what I went through this last week and having them pump me full of so much air and all these other dilators and so forth, that having been home from the hospital where everything's free and clear and easy to breathe, I get home and it's hard to breathe for normal people, with the humidity. So we fixing to fix that too. And my grumpiness and blah, 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 and I don't need no AC. Actually, I do. The air needs to be humidified in such a way that I can actually breathe it. It ain't about being nice and cool and comfortable. No, it's about the condition of the air. And when they, Rob was here and my neighbor Ricky was here, and they double teamed me the other day, y'all. I wish you could have been in on it. Oh my God. I was like, I give, okay. I'm not going to argue it, but you need this, blah, blah, blah. And holy crap. I was like, all right. I know you guys love me because you're sitting here te- double teaming me when you barely know each other as far as they have met each other, but it's always been a cross paths. But they were both here just letting me have it up one side down the other. But guys, I give and David, you be, and you can't be like, and I'm like, I give. Okay. All right. So now they're working on how to get the AC in my window down here and all. Because I told them, I said, okay, you want me to have it? I can't do it. So put up or shut up. But I'm not going to argue with it. So that's where we are on that. So I really want a hit of this. And please don't bitch me out. I'm going to sip, okay? But Lord have mercy. Yes, I'm going to be working on some edibles, but it ain't the same thing as doing this. I'm going to do a treatment right after I get done doing this. I was waiting on my treatment until later on in the evening because all this stuff makes me feel so funky. And it don't make me feel stoned. It makes me feel funky. And it makes me feel like, man, if I could just have a good hit off a bowl. That too, Barry. And it may be that because of my narcolepsy thingy, now they're going to do a bone scan over the scar over my left eye because, I can show proof of head damage. Now, the epilepsy, narcolepsy, whatever you want to call it, um, we going to find out. So I've told folks, you know, I've had proof of damage in the past on file, but nobody's asked to look at it. So now with a new neurologist that everybody likes so far, knock on wood, I'm going to say, okay, doc, just take an updated picture, compare it with the other ones, and look around in there and see if I might have a blood clot in there. And because I'm a silly asshole and I've been mistreating my body and I can take care of this and I'm a strong old some bitch and a dumb some bitch too for not paying closer attention. Interesting. But now it's coughing for I've tried to light this. And trust me, every time I've tried to light it or whatever, I'm like, now, is it worth taking a hit and then coughing and. So earlier I went to light it and I thought it over and I went, okay, and put it down. So am I getting better in that respect? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm 110% better in that. But I still want to take a hit. you know, that's going to be hard. I've been doing it for 50 years. So it's going to take a little something or other to get me to quit trying to take a hit. Now, can of butter, I got a pound of it in the freezer. So I'm just going to start making edibles and treating things differently. And I might be able to sneak a hit or two in there in between stuff. But as far as my days of just sitting down and just toking on a bowl and that's over. And I know it, sadly, I know it. Okay. But if I'm still going to be here, I'm going to adjust. Oh, that's good. Yum, yum. Now, I was very surprised, even with the lady today. It was only that stick figure. I want to cuss so bad about this guy, and I realized that I gotta cut it out. I gotta quit being pissed at this guy. But he gave me the hand. He he looked like one of them Valley girls in a movie, and he went and gave me the hand. Now they've read my report, and it says cannabis, yes. So, but they were all very like, you're going to have to slow down all of your smoking, Mr. Null, rather than tobacco or the other. Um, yes, but nobody picked on me about it. Well, you smoke weed. Well, you can't smoke weed. I mean, it was folks who were like, "Do you smoke weed, Mister Null?" Yes, and obviously I'm going to cut back a lot, now. Where I haven't really smoked a lot. I mean, I can take a couple of hits off a bowl and I'm good for a while. So this idea that I'm sitting down just doing nothing but smoking reefer, that's a lie too. To those folks who would like to, well, because he smokes, he's an old stoner. All he does is smoke. That's not true. Now I may smoke several times during the day, take a hit, and that might quote keep me at my level over the for the day. But am I constantly smoking? No. But what little bit I have done so far, I'm really going to have to be careful with because that hurt. It hurts. Now it hurts physically. It hurts. Of course, just coughing, having nothing. Oh, I was on the air thing in South Georgia. Oh, my issue right now with the coughing is because while I was in the hospital, I've got mold growing in my house that should not be here. And it's growing over there, it's growing back here, and so I'm working on folks. I have been begging them. I don't have much money, but I will pay you. Come help me clean my house of this because I live in the swamp and it's been raining a lot, and it gets like this. But my lungs can't take that anymore, and the situation is already here now. I mean, my kitchen was a mess, but just mold growing in place, and I was like, huh. So that ain't good. So my coughing today ain't from cigarettes and it ain't from weed. It's from the condition of my house. And I've been begging folks, please come help me straighten this issue out because I get too tired. And if I'm cleaning mold, then I'm getting it in my nose. Um, but today's condition of breathing is South Georgia weather and the mold growing around. I wish I could say it was because I've smoked two great big joints and a bowl. I've had a half a pack of cigarettes, and now it's 3 in the morning and I'm coughing. That ain't it. you know, honestly, that ain't it. Now, is it time for me to have a treatment? You betcha. And as much as I would like to hang out with y'all some more, I realize not necessarily cut it short, but I'm going to have to, say adios and hook up my. Oh dang it! Come here. Well, that's look what I caught. you know, put my mask on and do the breathing thing. Yes, it is, Millie Cow. Absolutely, Millie Cow. Brownies and Rice Krispie treats. And I've got some of each in the freezer, but absolutely, because my dear friend that passed away a year ago now, she couldn't smoke, and so I every time I made, because we'd gotten high with each other for 45 years, literally, that we wanted to get together and get a buzz on and watch a movie. uh, you know, she'd eat a couple of brownies ahead of time. And I'd come over, maybe eat a brownie with her, but I was smoking at the time, so I'd take a few hits and here's your brownies, Martha. But I have pushed the limit in so many ways in with my life in my lifetime that now it's you know I don't really like using this term, but I'm going to say it because at the moment in this last 2 weeks especially, I have suffered greatly But so I'm suffering the outcome of my previous whatevers, right? I'm Karma's caught up in this respect. So at first I was terrified about all the changes and this and that. But over the last couple of days, I've actually gotten some decent sleep because I've been home. And so when I wake up, I've been like, wow, whatever that sleep was, I have a clearer vision, ain't the right, but a clearer vision of what's ahead of me during this. And yeah, I'm going to have to learn how to do certain exercises. I'm going to have to learn how to do, wait, I already know how to do them, a lot of these exercises. So what I have to do is learn how to apply what I know to the future as far as, breathing techniques and rhythm techniques. So it might have been Barry I was talking about. I said, this is going to give me an opportunity. I said, if my heart's fibbing out and doing wacko and I can't feel it or know it, which is the truth, then all these years that I have been meditating to keep my heart going and badoom, badoom, I practiced many years ago of being able to literally drop my heart rate like the the yogis and the shamans do, in the Eastern. And I could drop my heartbeat rate at least by 10 within a couple of minutes. I could slow my heart rate down, keep my breathing, and that was just practicing to learn how to do it. Now I'm like, deep breath, deep breath. And I'm doing it right now. I can feel it because my whole chest is jumping up and down in some way or another at the moment. It's all weird and funky. So a particular place for like right over here in this spot, which is where they kept checking for my heart. So there's a spot right here, so that I can just I'm when I'm focusing on that spot. The rest of my chest, but so deep breath in to calm that one spot. Now it's to help calm all of me down, but there's right now this one spot that's being aggravating. So where before I could just snap right to it and do it, the combination of drugs and my condition and other things like the house and whatever, um, where I used to just drop right into it, I'm having trouble. Meaning, it's like, wait a minute, I used to be able to just take two deep breaths and be almost there as far as control. Now I can take two deep breaths and go, what the fuck? I still got to go. I mean, hang on, let me do this again. So it's harder to do now. But like I said, I've been over dilated, over oxygenated, all these things. So I'm going to, as the parameters calm down for me, I will be able to help myself control these parameters. Does that make sense? So I'm going to let y'all go, Millie Cow. Breathe through your nose. I can't because it's clogged. uh, there's so much going on with me. It's like I take your advice and do this, yeah, but I can't. you know, at the moment it's clogged. It feels. Oh. By the way, they stabbed me twice in the nose for the coronavirus. Zero. They did not make me wear a mask or say a word the entire time I was in the hospital. Not, oh, we put your mask on, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. And so this idea, corona, blah, 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 there are people who are fed up with that from a hospital standpoint. Now, God, I have to report sad news in this. After 2 years plus. Have been a couple of nurses or folk that now I'm in this bed that's got these little plastic buttons on it to raise and lower the bed. Okay. Now they're on the inside of this thing and they're on the outside of this thing. So I was having difficulty several days ago, and I asked the nurse, "Is there anything I can do for you, Mr. Null? Would you lower the bed back instead of being sitting up? I wanted to recline a little more. I'd had my treatment, but I'd had enough, and I wanted to lay back more. Couldn't get to the damn button myself." So she goes, "Oh," and she went to touch. Now she's standing next to me without gloves on, and she's wearing a mask, but no gloves. And she went to touch the button and said, "Wait a minute." She went out in the hall by the door where they have racks of different kinds of sizes of gloves and grabs one out of the thing to come over, and she the, didn't put the glove on, but wrapped the glove around her finger, thumb, whatever, to push the button. And I was watching her, and she was just holding on to that thing, and the bed's going back, and I'm going to myself, "Lady, are you really that scared? Are you really that terrified of stuff that you can't push the button to let my bed down? It ain't talking about touching me. I haven't been on the outside of this bed, mind you, so that I have wiped my germs on it. I am clear from the virus because they tested me right away. And so this is several days later. Why are you freaking out about touching button?" So there are people who are, reach out and grab my hand without a glove. "Hey, Mr. Noel, how you doing?" Pull their mask down a little bit, and they're only doing it because they're supposed to. And then there are the people who are still fucking terrified of a germ. Now, I know they work in a hospital, but you're touching a button. I mean, I'm sorry. You're touching a button. Okay. So anyway, what a journey it's been. And my dear friend Brian has been flying around in my head going, "Interesting, ain't it, Dave?" And I'm like, "What the hell?" I have accepted my mission. I come back from that nice white floaty place with no worries. And I was like, if this is what it's like, do I really have to go back? You got to go back, Hawkeye. You can't stay. You got to go back. Your mission's not over. And if nothing else, then it's to poke some, as I like to call it, poke the bear. And the other day I poked the bear because they were telling me one thing and nothing was getting done. So I poked the bear myself, meaning I went ahead and called a doctor, called another person, and that might have pissed off the hospital. But to the point, though, they weren't doing their job. And they didn't do their job as far as my release. So in this, I'm going to be poking the bear. I'm going to be figuring out how to do it. I'm going to be, you know what I mean? Versus just, I don't know. Oh, I'm sick. I've had a heart attack. Oh, woe is me. I will say, woe is me. This sucks. And learning how to deal with it. Oh, woe is me. And I've asked folks, they say, well, we're going to pray for your health. Thank you. We're going to pray for you to get better. Thank you. But I want also to pray for you. I want you to pray for me to help me figure it out. Because if I can't figure out how to take the medicines right, if I can't figure out how to, if just walking in, I'm going to have to figure out how far I can walk without becoming too over exhausted. So, thank you. Pray. Yeah, absolutely. I pray for y'all all the time. But my brother, I told him, I said, I'm here. The medicine's working. And I said, what I need prayers now for is how to figure this out on my own with nobody here. And I have not figured out how to teach Duggar how to dial 911, And so I need help. If there are prayers, I just need help for clarity. Help Hawkeye figure this out. I mean, I will, but I mean, as far as right now, I feel stumped. You know, like how am I going to do this? I don't know. Well, what about? Don't know. Well, what about? I really don't know now, because I don't. I've pushed my limits for so long without without thinking that I was going to have to suffer any consequences. These are the consequences of me pushing the envelope for way too long when I really should have been easing off that gas pedal some. So it's going to be interesting. I do intend to be around for a while. Now, shit happens, and I hope it don't happen to me. But Rob the other day, he came by in the afternoon to stop in. You okay? How you? It was like day two. Was it yesterday already? Anyway, he told me. He said, I snuck in your house this morning, and Duggar wasn't here, so there was no barking. And so I was like, I kind of woke up a little bit and thought of somebody here and looked around and it wasn't. But he had come over and stood in the door back over there, peeked around the edge just to see if I was breathing. Just to see if I was breathing. You can't ask no more of somebody. I mean, really. And I didn't ask him to do it, but he felt compelled to because I had just gotten home. Nobody here. He was headed for work and he took a couple of minutes out of his time to stick his head in to make sure I was breathing. So if y'all are worried about whether or not anybody's looking out after me, the lady today, as I said very earlier, but you know me and about signs and this and that and the other thing. Who shows up to as the nurse to take care of me today? Her name was Angelica. Angel? The spirit sent me an angel, literally. And I don't mean this. Here I am. Da, 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 da. You know the song. But anyway, or maybe you don't. But um, the fact that she was so kind and explained things in a way, and if I was like, now, back that bus up a little bit, explain a little more. Absolutely wonderful. Now she said, someone from the outreach program will be here to check me. How many times we have not determined. Do I need oxygen at the moment? The answer is no. Do I need to take my treatment a couple of times a day? That's the answer. And I'm fixing to shut up here in a minute and have my treatment. Um, but her honest caring about my condition as a nurse, not some kind of staff member. Well, they still are staff members, but not like the guy I wanted to, hurt with my straw. And I had collected a couple too since I first said that with Barry. Hmm. Now, I have coughed up a lot of stuff over the years, and I ain't going to show this to you. But it's white. It's like I just coughed up some milk in a phone. I mean, it's really odd. I mean, it's literally, it looks like a marshmallow. I mean, it's not cigarette smoke. It ain't this. It's kind of creepy looking white right here in my napkin. And so, I'm going to ask about that next time I see somebody. How come my lungs are, oh, I would expect it with cigarette smoke or leftover this or that, but it's white. It's almost like cream, cottage cheese kind of thing. And odd, you know, It's freaking odd looking, you know. You know, the first thing you want to hear is, wait, what'd you say, Jules? Hey, Jules, did I say hi to you earlier? I'm not sure. I love you all so much, but it has been so off the wall this way. If it's white, as long as it's not yellow. No, no, no. I mean, I've been coughing up yellow, not yellow, I'm sorry, greenish brown because I'm smoking and I have, you know, inhaled grinding dust over the years in my nostrils, and it's just coal black, nasty stuff. But this is creepy white. I have never seen this, and I've never coughed it up myself until today. So whatever it is, you know, woo wee. But anyway, see, y'all can help monitor my system for me. But honestly, a couple hours ago, when I woke up by myself out here, and I was just feeling that oddness, I had to get on because I wanted to do a video, but I had to get on because I'm, you know, terrified is honestly what it tries to do to me, and I have to not go there. Damn, you're breathing. What's wrong? And I'm trying to breathe, and I'm, you know, I've taken my meds, and what is this? I can't really call the hospital. I mean, I could, but you know, what do I do? Do get online. Let's have a chat with friends and calm your ass down, Hawkeye, which is what I'm doing. And I thank you all so much for that. Honestly. Y'all, this is creepy looking. I'm just telling you, this is creepy looking, this white color. And I can feel it coming out of different layers, high, low in my chest. But for me, I'm just going to blurt it out there. This is an odd motherfucking looking shit. I don't know where this shit. This looks like alien stuff right here. This is weird, y'all. You know, that's where my brain wants to go, like really loud. So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm going to have to learn. And a lot of stuff I'm just going to have to put in practice. And call it old age? No, let's call it stupidity. I spent too many years with 2, 3 packs of cigarettes starting at the age of 12 or 13. My sister and I can't quite. I don't know if I told you this, but I'll tell you, and getting out of here. In the carnival days, way back in the 60s and early 70s, they had all different kinds of games and stuff. Well, back then, you could buy a pack of cigarettes for 30 cents, okay, or less if you bought them in a carton. So they had a game on the carnival that my brother and sister had purchased, and but they were using it over the summer or 2 summers, I think. So called the color wheel, right? And they probably still have the color wheel, but the prizes are different. So the prize at the time, and so there's 3 sides of this stick joint. 3 sides of it has got a counter, and there are all different kinds of colors lined up all the way on all 3 sides of the joint. The concession, but it was always the joint to us. But anyway, so big wheel with the thing, just like the Wheel of Fortune, not as big as never mind, but the same thing, but colors all in it. So the deal was put a dime on a color, or 20 cents, or whatever for every dime you did. So you could put $1, and that meant 10. So, but anyway, you put a dime on the color, somebody spin the wheel, and there had to be 5 people playing before you could do it. All right. You couldn't just go up there and play yourself. You could play yourself if you did 5 different things. But the winner got a pack of cigarettes. Now, most of the time it was unfiltered Camels or Pall Malls or Lucky Strike or something like that. Back then, that was a great deal. So the amount of cigarettes that they went through, But them 2 summers made them 2 kids back in when they did it. They were teenagers. It made them a chunk of change that summer by doing the color wheel and the cigarettes being the prize. So when they were doing that, of course, we were all smoking. And how long did, well, I don't know. So, and unfiltered Pall Malls and, Lucky Strike. So that'll make it worse. And I was smoking Swisser Sweets by the age of 13 and 14 because I remember the summer that I was 13, going to turn 14, that I learned how to smoke. So, I mean, yes, I have been smoking some heavy duty stuff for a lot of years. And the fact that I haven't hurt my heart worse, the fact that I started cutting back and down when I did, all the doctors said the same thing. Thank God you were at least smart enough to back off when you did. So anyway, I'm going to do my lung therapy, see if I can cough up some more of this alien white gunk. I'm telling you, it looks funky to me. And I've seen some funky stuff, but I love you all. Thank you so much. And you've heard me say things like, and I mean it, for every second that we exist on this earth or in this plane, we can change things. Well, for every second that we're in this universe, they can, things can change with us in an instant. Y'all have known me many years now with this. I had no idea that after a couple of days of feeling a little ill, my pneumonia was horrible. They shocked me with so much antibiotics that I was like, what? Yeah, we got another one. What? We got another one. Hang another bottle up and pump it in his arm. What? Yeah, I mean, till almost the last day I was there, they were pumping antibodies in me, which is interesting because they hadn't really said anything in the report about the antibiotics. But they were pumping the hell in me, along with saline and so forth and all the other meds. But I'm going to do the best I can. I know I'm going to need some help. We still want to do a bonfire in the fall. I'm still going to kayak on and around my birthday or something. We're still planning on that. So if anybody's in the neighborhood, hopefully my nephew Derek will come down. I miss him. Hey, he's a cool dude, and he moved to North Carolina from Florida. Um, and we talked for hours on the phone today, and he goes, Uncle Dave, I just love your house, and I can't believe that I haven't been there in so many years and whatever. And he goes, "No." And we'd talked about 3 or 4 weeks earlier, and I told him, I said, it's interesting after years of not really speaking, no bad blood in between us. We just hadn't spoke. I said that you called, I called, and we talked. And he goes, yeah. And I said, but think about it. Now, 3 weeks later, after the heart attack, we're talking again. You don't find that a coincidence? I mean, that after all these years, after all this time, he's been thinking about me, wanting to come visit, but ain't said a word. But now, as this stuff has come together, he called me before I had the heart attack, which is like, don't you find that a little bit interesting? In the grand scheme of things, he's like, huh, I hadn't thought of that, but I'm sure glad you're better. So, anyway, I'm going to quit yapping and take my meds. And I have been praying for y'all out there laying still in my bed, like folks are like, what you doing? You sleeping over there? Nope. I'm meditating and I'm sending prayers out to the universe because I have received so many good prayers from y'all. I just got to let it go back to the universe. I am blessed. I know it. I'm very humbled by this experience and all the good wishes and prayers from you all. I mean, the other day when it was like the beginning of day 2, I was laying over there on the bed. Duggar wasn't here, kind of feeling, left out, trying to figure this stuff out. Hadn't talked to any nurses, not a clue what's going on. And I felt abandoned. literally, and in so many ways it was true. But I said, so how do I get out of this feeling? I'm going to lie here after taking my meds and my treatment. I'm going to lie here and meditate to the universe, to all those who sent me prayers and well wishes. And after a little while, that feeling, it was an anxious feeling, just kind of calmed down and just kind of smoothed out. So I thank you all for more reasons than one. But if some folks out there might be thinking that, I quit praying for you, that ain't true. Because there's too much time now that I gotta lay still. And when you're laying still and bored, you might as well be meditating and praying for folks. That's my choice. Steve O, I'm fixing to get out of here, Steve. I've been on here for almost 2 hours. And unfortunately, go back and watch or call me on the phone later and I'll have a one-to-one with you. But I'm out of the hospital. This is day 3, moving into day 4. And nurse was here today. My blood pressure is too low instead of being too high. Oh, by the way, when they put me in the hospital, my blood pressure was 258 over 198. So I was fixing to blow a gasket. I mean, somewhere there was a vein that was fixing to pop. But all that has stabilized. Today, my blood pressure was 104 over 80. And the nurse was very concerned it was too low. And for those of you who were on here earlier, that's the reason I'm on here in the middle of the night, because I still feel funky, but not as bad as I was 2 hours ago, because I've had a chance to talk, calm down, you know, because it's still very new to me. And without somebody that I can just kind of reach out and touch, other than Duggar, who's been great, he's only been here a day. He's only been back a day. But he had his tail between his legs. His posture was that he crawled over to me until I could give him a hug and do that. All the internets have been running strange lately, by the way, but to that point. So anyway, I really do got to get my treatment going. I love y'all. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. Not that it matters. But I will be back. Thank you for your prayers and your continued moral support and spiritual support. I can't thank you enough. So, you all, now I'm worried about some of y'all. I've not met you, but there are some of y'all out there I just kind of feel like, please heed my warnings with some of this stuff. If you've been doing wheezing or whatever and you ain't been to a doctor, I told my nephew today, I said, screw how much it costs for the test. I said, if that was the deal, I'd be worrying about a dirt nap at the moment. The cost of what the test cost me would be absolutely immaterial to whether or not am I alive or dead, and that ain't no joke. Are you still kicking? Can you still breathe? Yes or no? What? Oops, dirt nap. Um, and as I've told folks, you know, being out there floating in the white, I really didn't want to come back. But I understood that is, if this is what it's like, if I had a fear of the unknown or the other side, what's going to be when I die kind of thing. Now, I know there ain't going to be angels singing over me all the time. I mean, but at the same time, the white, the peacefulness, it wasn't it wasn't a heaven or a hell. It was just white, right? That if that's what's awaiting me out there, and Granny and Brian and flying around in the universe, and I can feel um, that calm, the serenity. Like, oh, hell yeah. So where I had a little trepidation about what's it going to be like on the other side, having been to the other side, I'm like, nah, this is going to be a piece of cake. Are you sure I can't stay, Grandma? No, this is not your ticket home. You got to go back. So I'm here and I'm going to shut up. Will you be up for a. I got to do my mask treatment thing. So I'm going to be up for the next 10, 15 minutes at least. And then usually after that, this particular in, inhalant thing I'm taking, it makes me feel, talk about funky. It kind of wires you up a little bit. And I almost did it before I come down here, but it also kind of makes you angry. I was so wired up yesterday. I had to call my friends to go, um, did I say anything bad while y'all were here? And they were like, no, why? Because all I know is I could hear my tone of voice in my head, and it was shitty. Oh, God. Treat my friends and speak like that. Now, not necessarily to them, but about stuff. And whoa, buddy. So I called up and I said, please accept my apology, whether I did anything or not, because I feel like I did, and y'all are covering it up. But anyway, all right, you can call me tonight if you give me 15 minutes to let me do my treatment. You can call me tonight. I mean, you can call me tomorrow. I ain't going nowhere. Trust me, because I gotta learn how to get my stamina back up. But it's up to you, Steve. I'm probably going to be up, for at least 40 minutes or so. But anyway, so call me if you want to, or call me tomorrow. Um, I have no plans for tomorrow other than to continue to learn how to get better with this and to deal with it. So, but that's that. So, alrighty. So, I was trying to push the 2 hour mark, but I can't make it. So I love you. I continue to pray for each and every one of you. I do, because you're important to me. And you always were important, but after this event, I was like, holy cow! I really get some stuff that words can never explain, deeper meanings or whatever. So, but anyway, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings out there in the universe. Every single day, especially now that I'm back with Duggar, we're going to take a little walk out on the porch and we're going to continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom from the universe. And in that law of three, that, oh my God, really is important to me now, I continue to pray that you and yours will continue to learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom, and the many blessings in the universe. Because this me dangling with death, 2 heart attacks in a couple of days, silent, danger ones, I'm still here, and I God could have took me the other day, y'all. And being where I was at and everything, I'm not trying to make more of what it is, but seriously, honestly, I was like, this is it, eh? Nope, but this is what it's like. And it ain't bad. Now, I'm not trying to get there anytime soon, but I ain't afraid to get there anymore, if that makes sense. Oh, what is that great beyond? What's it going to be like? What's it going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Should I be scared? No. Unless maybe you've done some really nasty crap in your life and you're one evil some bitch, you might have a different picture of this. But for those of us who are just trying to be good people, and Granny was a charmer, kindness. The answer to the universe continues to be kindness. So be kind to yourself, which I had not been, and I'm paying for that karma. Be kind to your siblings, your mates, your whoever. Be kind to strangers, because it really, really, really does matter. So until next time, And if I'm up and about tomorrow, it might be this late in the morning, and I'm by myself in Funke, I'll be back on to have chats with you. And by the way, if any of you have any questions or anything, I was thinking about having like just doing a show of y'all having questions about shit. Don't know what, just question and answers about anything, any topic that you might be rolling through your brain. So I love you. Thank you. An hour and 52 minutes and 22 seconds. Cheers. Until next time, please, you all be safe. Because I guarantee I'm going to be safe. I guarantee I'm going to be more careful. I guarantee I'm going to take my meds. You hear me? So, Jewel, thank you. Steve, and everybody else in tonight, I love you. Thank you so much. Till next time, cheers and keep it between the ditches. TTFN, ta ta for now from South Georgia.